Elon Musk has been not great CEO for a while now. Why do you think they keep him around? The answer is pretty obvious. It's because he's real life Tony Stark, guys. He's because he's real life Tony Stark. He's a genius because he's gonna save the world, guys. Because he's a mascot. That's why. You know how Elon Musk has spent years now cultivating a reputation as an eccentric genius, which is actually really easy to do when you're a billionaire born into wealth and you can pay engineers to do all the actual work? Primarily, Elon Musk is a financier and a venture capitalist. It's been his selective investment that's led to the massive accrual of wealth. The guy's not an engineer, but he gets a rep as an engineer because he self-styles as one. And that, again, that's something you can pull off when you, like, own Tesla and Boring Company and SpaceX, and you pay actual engineers to do stuff. Sure, maybe you as, like, the lead guy might constantly overstate the expectations one should have for your products and then fail to meet it, or constantly have to recall your shitty cars or whatever. But, you know, at least it's something. The problem with being the owner of a social media company is that this is actually a really bad place to be if you're an overconfident idiot who wants to maintain a mirage of competence. Social media companies are not easy to run. They are literally the most publicly visible institution in existence. There's none other. Find me an institution more publicly visible than a social media company. You'll not. This is as evident as one gets. And because, of course, stable genius Elon Musk thinks himself some kind of, genius savant, he has immediately implanted his brilliant schemes onto the management of this fine app. Let me just he had an all hands meeting. Okay? Currently an emergency Twitter all hands going on with Elon Musk answering employee questions. Elon was asked, "How are you going to deal with the expected attrition and align everyone in a shared vision?" Elon's answer, "I don't know. We all need to be more hardcore." He's putting that yeah, putting that high IQ management style to work here. Let's get hardcore, because this is a pretty hardcore Twitter thread, IMO. On the call, Musk was also asked about the company's financial runway and how it was doing in terms of the business. Musk mentioned that Twitter had net negative cash flow of several billion dollars and that he recently sold a bunch of Tesla stock in order to save the company. Now, this is worse than it sounds, and I'll talk about that in a second. But guys, he bought Twitter less than 2 weeks ago. It has been, I think, 13 days. Truly the Tony Stark of our time. Who's this witty guy? Let me get through these links, make sure that I have all of them. Elon Musk told Twitter employees the company may lose billions next year and bankruptcy isn't out of the question. 13 days, guys. 13 days. 13 days. I'm not kidding when I say you could have made the owner of Twitter a dog, and you would not have been getting headlines like this after 13 days. Because a dog wouldn't have immediately fired half the staff and then, like, sheepishly asked a lot of them to come back. Did I talk about that on stream? Where he immediately set about firing a bunch of people in an entirely unjust and shitty way, and then was sheepishly like, actually, we need like people to come back. Oh, that's one of the headlines that my man Ken over here is throwing out there. After laying off half of staff, Twitter might be asking some employees to come back. Hilarious. Thank you. Elon Musk says Twitter has had massive revenue drop as advertisers pause spending. Hilarious. Thank you. Twitter's cybersecurity chief amid company turmoil. Hilarious. Thank you. FTC says it's tracking the developments at Twitter with deep concern. Literally, this could not be going worse. Faster. Do you want to know why advertisers are pausing their spending? Spokesperson for pharmaceutical giant Eli Lilly says they're in communication with Twitter to address the fake but verified Eli Lilly tweet that has been up for 3 hours. We are excited to announce insulin is free now. So it turns out that that effectively nulling the feature that allowed brands to authenticate and distinguish themselves was actually a really, really, really bad idea for brand retention. If you can believe it, if you could think for any length of time. Again, I really mean it. A dog wouldn't have done this poorly. Elon Musk is speedrunning the worst imaginable decisions. It's difficult to even make fun of because it feels like it's undignified for me to even take it seriously enough to explain why it's bad. You know what I mean? It would be like if somebody was doing a dentistry exam and they like brought a hammer with them and they started running around smashing all the mannequins and stuff. Like, writing a detailed report on how every individual smash is like not conducive to proper dentistry feels like kind of a waste. You know what I mean? It's like we're so far out of the ballpark of competent like company ownership that it's like we're in a different dimension right now. It's phenomenal. Wait, it's gotten worse? Yeah, it has, because corporations and brands have been trying to reach out to Twitter only to find the head of Twitter communications quit. It is a rudderless ship. It could not possibly be going worse. Again, I am an architect being asked to evaluate the structural stability of a building that is currently on fire. I am an aeronautics engineer looking at the Hindenburg photo after it's already crashed into the ground and being asked why it can't fly. It is beyond analysis. He's just that dumb. Twitter might be worth $8 billion now. Oh, yes. Just to be clear, Twitter senior secured bank loans, the top of the capital stack at 60 cents, implies Twitter, for which Elon Musk paid $44 billion, is now worth less than $8 billion. Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Genius. You know, they say not even a billionaire could spend, $32 billion in 2 weeks. Well, folks, I got news for you. It gets worse than all of this. It gets worse. This is just on the surface, okay? This isn't just about Twitter, okay? I want to talk to you guys a little bit about wealth, all right? Now, I assume most of you know this, but not everyone does, and it's good to, it's good to make sure everyone's on the same page. When they say stuff like Bill Gates made $10 billion in the past week, or Elon Musk lost $10 billion that day alone, it's not technically true. See, for wealthy people, you don't keep your wealth in a bank account, right? You keep them in stocks and options and a variety of, possessions that are meant to appreciate in interest. For Elon Musk, an enormous amount of his wealth is tied up in the stocks that he has and the variety of companies that he controls. Now, I want to show you something very funny, okay? It's comedy gold. This is Tesla stock. Elon Musk had to sell billions of Tesla stock to shore up the cash deficits of Twitter, and he did so at less than half the value of Twitter stock compared to 1 year ago. Less than half. Twitter might actually end up being his downfall, and I'll tell you why. Many of Elon Musk's companies are massively overvalued. They are wildly overestimated in worth at the stock market. And a lot of that comes down to taking advantage of extremely preferential government subsidies, which is its whole other thing. But a lot of it also comes down to Elon Musk's reputation. See, whether or not Tesla is highly evaluated or not highly evaluated comes down to how soy everyone is being about Elon Musk that day. This is why company stock goes up when they announce something, not when they start selling something. It can go up when they start selling something, but announcements are able to drive up company stock, and that's because hype drives evaluation, and the evaluation of the worth of a stock is what determines, well, its worth, because that's how the system works. What all this means is that Tesla is really not much of anything without Elon Musk. In spite of the fact that Elon Musk doesn't own all of Tesla. Elon owns Twitter in its entirety. He bought Twitter. But Elon controls, I think, about 20% of Tesla stock, which is more than any other individual, but not a single majority, meaning that the board of shareholders would be capable of ousting Elon Musk as CEO if his behavior got bad enough. Elon Musk has been not great CEO for a while now. Why do you think they keep him around? Well, the answer is pretty obvious. It's because he's real life Tony Stark, guys. He's because he's real life Tony Stark. Because he's a genius. Because he's gonna save the world, guys. Because he's a mascot. That's why. So what we have right now is the world's wealthiest man, whose power, wealth, and influence are dictated almost entirely by his hype. And his hype is dictated almost entirely by the perception of him as an eccentric billionaire. How do you think things are going for that right now? He might be entering a death spiral. Twitter will lose a lot of money. He's already had to sell a bunch of Tesla stock to shore up costs. He paid too much for Twitter to begin with, and he's already having to sell depreciated Tesla stock to cover it up. The worse Twitter does, the more money it loses, the worse Elon looks, the less Tesla's worth, the less the stock is worth when he sells it to cover up the losses. It is an actual possible death spiral. It might end up taking Twitter out with it, which, good, whatever. Fucking, it's Twitter, you know? Okay, sure, fine. But this move, this might go beyond just a poor decision from Elon Musk. This might actually end up, like, severely crippling him, financially and politically, because this is as good of evidence as you're ever going to get that the man is not actually the real life Tony Stark. Not actually. That's not actually true. Truly phenomenal stuff. Biden has already said he's going to look into his China dealings. We'll see. We're not even talking about the angle of the government getting involved here. I mean, that's a whole other side of things. Yeah. Yeah, not to mention the more Tesla stock he sells to cover costs, the less control he has over it. Yeah, it's really funny. It's extremely funny. It's incredibly funny. Did you see the CISO, Chief Privacy Officer, and Chief Compliance Officer all resigned because Elon's lawyer put out a statement on their Slack that Elon is willing to take on huge amounts of risk? Oh, right. I'm so sorry. How could I? So much. This is why I got to prepare my materials beforehand. Elon's lawyer said on Slack, so Elon's lawyer is like a true believer, okay? Said this. Elon is willing to take on a huge amount of risk. He put rockets into space. He's not afraid of the FTC. If you are a sane human being, the statement, oh yeah, your boss has put rockets into space. He's not afraid of the FTC, is a great time to leave the company that you are currently in. Of course, Elon Musk never put rockets into space. The engineers put rockets into space. Elon has never done anything of the sort. Such a revealing statement. And this has led not only, yes, not only to their communications department shutting down, at least for a time, but also their CISO, compliance officer. An employee says it'll be up to engineers to self-certify compliance with FTC requirements and other laws. They are telling the fucking code jockeys who work at Twitter, hey, like, can you study up on, like, telecommunications law? Do you think you could get a second degree and learn about this thing that people are normally paid enormous amounts of money to dictate? Like, keeping up with FTC requirements as a social media company is literally one of the most involved, like, high-level positions you could... No, but could you guys do it? All this is extremely dangerous for our users, the message says, given the FTC can and will fine Twitter billions of dollars pursuant to the FTC consent order. Right now, if Twitter is fined billions, that means Elon is fined billions. How funny is that? That's very funny. You know, normally when you hear about some big company getting fined, like the fine goes into some legal black hole. But the way things are right now, if Twitter ends up getting fined a bunch, then yeah, Elon will have to pay that. single-handedly owns Twitter. See Twitter's emergency meeting summary. Elon was 15 minutes late after giving employees 1 hour of notice. I love this, man. Is that in this? I don't think I've seen this thread. No, this was from the 9th. This was from yesterday. But I didn't go over that either. I mean, so far in this call, Elon says we will ban impersonators and keep the rate dollars. Eventually, impersonators will stop making accounts because losing money is disincentive. I have a lot of faith in humanity. Most people are good. If your business strategy involves you having to explain how people are basically good, you probably don't have a good business strategy. You know what I mean? It'll work. Listen, the humans are naturally generous to the wealthiest man on Earth, you know? Elon's take on brand safety. I want to get rid of the bad content. I don't want things on here that are not funny or entertaining. He's such a fucking Redditor. According to someone I know at SpaceX, Elon has at least once been single-handedly responsible for delaying a rocket launch because he wanted the nozzles to be shiny instead of matte. I completely and 100% believe you. Not only do I not need evidence to believe you, but if somebody showed me counter evidence, I would disbelieve them. I would die defending your honor to preserve my perception that you are telling the truth. Twitter's lawyers are telling Twitter staff to get whistleblower legal protections. I'm going to run out of... I'm so sorry. How can I not? Senior people at Twitter have resigned in the last 48 hours. We now know why. They said in private Slack channels, Elon Musk is so desperate to recoup his money, he's taking crazy risks with your privacy and safety. Yeah, do not buy the check mark, even for bits, okay? All that shit is going to get leaked. There is no future in which this shit does not get leaked, all right? Right now, Twitter is extremely hackable. That makes every user here at extreme risk for DM leaks, identity theft, and surveillance. Elon doesn't care. He wants his money. So they resigned, and top lawyers told Twitter employees to get whistleblower protections. The FCC just announced they are investigating. Oh, God. Phenomenal. Start getting on Panasonic. Start getting on Panasonic. They make his batteries for the 3 and Y. Why did I have no idea what you're referring to. You mean like because they support him? What are your thoughts on the chance that Elon has an iFunny account? Dude, Elon 100% has an iFunny account. 100%. This might be considered the biggest Ponzi scheme in history. Elon is now beholden to investors to the tune of tens of billions of dollars that he managed to lose in 2 weeks. Does anyone... How much was loaned to him for the Twitter buy? Is it known how much was? Wasn't it like 13 billion? Here, I'll check. Much was loaned to Elon Musk to buy Twitter. To buy Twitter. Here? How Elon Musk financed his Twitter takeover. Thank you. The first thing I read, keep reading, Israeli forces kill 2 Palestinians. How did Elon Musk finance his $44 billion Twitter takeover? Well, first he put out a hit on 2 Palestinians. You know, this was necessary to secure the favor of Netanyahu. Okay. A large part of that, about 12.5 billion, was set to have come from loans backed by his shares in the electric car company, meaning he would not have to... Ooh. Loans backed by the shares that have depreciated by more than 50% since 1 year ago in Tesla. Okay. Yeah, the loans came from the deflating company that his poor performance on Twitter is going to further depreciate the value for. Ultimately, put from the cash. The 51-year-old ends up selling about 15.5 billion with a Tesla in 2 waves. Also includes 5.2 billion from investment groups and other large funds, like Larry Ellison, co-founder of the software company Oracle, who wrote a $1 billion check as part of the arrangement. Qatar Holding, which is controlled by Qatar's sovereign wealth fund, the Qatar Investment Authority, has also tossed capital into the pot. And Prince Al-Walid bin Talal of Saudi Arabia. Oh, it says he was supposed to go on loan but didn't? At first, the Twitter had a large part of that was set. Oh, I'm sorry. I read was said to have come, not set to have come. So he did not back this with Tesla backed loans. So wait, then it was. So he sold the Tesla shares, and then he spent that much, and then this. Okay, gotcha. It's not good. It's not good. Prince Alwaleed bin Talal of Saudi Arabia transferred to Musk the nearly 35 million shares he already owned. In exchange for their investments, the contributors will become Twitter shareholders. Huh. The rest of the money, about 13 billion worth, is backed by bank loans, including from Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, Japanese banks, Mitsubishi UFJ Financial Group, and Mizuho, Barclays, and the French banks Societe Generale and BNP Paribas. This shit's complicated. Morgan Stanley's contribution alone is about 3.5 billion. Dude, people have got to be really fucking mad with Elon right now. Like really fucking mad. Elon's got some angry like text messages that he's screening on his phone. I'll tell you what, 100%. Will it be based if Elon destroys Twitter? Yes, it will be based if Elon destroys Twitter. You think he'll get suicided? Probably not. Stuff like that doesn't actually happen that much. Elon believed his own hype, didn't he? Yeah, 100%. That's what defines people like Elon Musk. Elon Musk, Donald Trump, that's the thing that makes them exceptional, you know? They're not just grifters. Grifters on their own are usually smart enough to understand when to back out of the game they're playing. Like Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro was a big anti-Trump guy, and then when he realized there was no path forward but Trump, he just stopped that and started singing Trump's praises. He would do so in a kind of like half-heartedly critical way, you know, oh, I think Trump is mean and bullyish, but the real criticisms he had disappeared. Ben's smart. I still believe that, even if he is incredibly dishonest. He read the writing on the wall, so he pulled away. Yeah, they're yes men, you know? But people like Donald Trump and Elon Musk are exceptional in that they fully 100% believe in themselves, you know? They're like anime protagonists. You know how in like shonen anime, the protags get stronger when they believe in themselves? That's them. That's the world they live in, okay? It may seem incomprehensible to us, but a reminder that if you're watching this right now and you haven't subscribed to my channel, an ancient Gaelic curse will afflict you. I'm not really sure on the specifics because I only read English, but I think it has something to do with your wives. Just make sure to subscribe. You know, it's really for your sake more than anyone else's.